Welcome back to the Savage Report. I'm Andy Savage. We've heard from vendors who have been told they're not good enough for the Charleston Farmers Market anymore, even though some of them have been there for years and have helped build its reputation. So how are these decisions made? What are the judges looking for? Join us now by phone is Enid Idelson, who is one of the 5 jury members that look at vendors selling crafts. Enid, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We've looked a little bit into your background. Our producer, as you might know, is always trying to figure out the background of people who appear on our show, and you look extremely well qualified. Tell us a little bit about your background. I know you live here in Charleston now.
Right. I was in the retail furniture and housewares business for a long time in New York, and then I came to Charleston and managed an art gallery here. I also had my own retail store. So I have a good eye for merchandise.
And how were you selected? How did it become that you were selected one of the key judges to judge these crafts?
I'm not really sure how I was selected. I got a call one day and they asked me to be a juror, and I said yes.
Did they tell you when they asked you that they knew you would be good at this because of your background and there was a certain criteria that they had in mind to make this determination?
I guess so. I mean, they didn't actually say that.
Who's they?
The farmers market coordinator, whose name escapes me at the moment.
And were you a regular customer at the farmers market? Is that one of the reasons they chose you?
I don't know that. I happen to go there every week with my dog, basically, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great experience for any of us that have been there on Saturday mornings. It's a wonderful community location. How are these decisions made? What do we look at in determining who should be a participant in the farmers market and who should be booted out? What's the criteria?
Well, I only know I'm given a score sheet, actually a book with a lot of score sheets, basically. And
so did you have any input in making those classifications in the score sheet? Who made up that score sheet? How was that criteria defined?
I don't know.
All you did was follow what the city market had given you.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that seems to be pretty subjective on it. I mean, for instance, the first question that I look at on a craft that you would be involved in seems like it's right up your alley. Quality of the product, design and visual quality of the product visibility, originality and aesthetics of the products, general impression of product. That's all right in your expertise area. Is that true? I mean, that's something that you feel...
Well, I mean, that's kind of subjective. You know, my expertise is in furniture and home furnishings, so...
But it's something that you're familiar with. I mean, you really do have a background in this area. But how do you equalize that subjectiveness with the other judges? I mean...
You have to hone in on what that one artist or craftsperson is doing and follow the criteria. That's all I can say.
I'm looking at one person in particular who was asked to leave, and I'm looking at customer care. Courteous and strong customer service, that's one criteria, and knowledgeable staff is another criteria. And I'm looking at the judges' scores. There are 4 judges that scored in this one. 2 of them scored the highest possible, 5, and 1 scored the second highest possible, 4, and then a 4th judge, scored the lowest possible. How is that fair when it's so subjective?
I don't know. I mean, I'm only one judge. I don't know what happens after I turn in my scores.
Was there any concern that people are prospering there, that some people that customers love, that they've done well in their business, that there are long lines in front of their booths every Saturday? Was that part of it?
I don't believe so. I was asked to go in and score people, period. I turn in my book at the end, and that's all I do. I have no idea what happens after.
So, Enid, they're all individual decisions. You couldn't sit down with your fellow judges and argue that this particular vendor was not good for this reason, that reason, this reason, or was very good.
No.
Do the judges talk among themselves and compare notes?
No, we do not.
And did anybody ask you when you turned the notes in why you chose that particular 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5?
No.
How about the fact that somebody has been in business successfully there for a number of years, 5, 10 years? Was that taken into account?
Not really, because you're just given a score sheet.
Yeah. What will this process do to make the farmers market a better place to enjoy on Saturday morning?
I have no idea. I can't even speak to that.
And do you have any reason why the city was behind doing this scoring? Is it to make room for new ideas, new people, new products?
I think it's because there's an increase in applicants.
And I'm wondering if the applicants that want to replace these people who have been removed, do they go through a judging? Did you score anybody that's asked for a space so that they could be judged in the same criteria as those that have been there?
There were 2 scorings that I did. One was during the actual market last year, where I spent 3 hours walking through the market and talking to vendors and scoring. And then there was another time that we went over to St. Matthew's Church and scored a multitude of vendors.
And those folks that were at St. Matthew's Church that you scored are the ones that are applying to replace those who have been
I believe so, but I'm not even sure of that, Andy. The people aren't there. Everything is numbered. I wouldn't know one from the other than this is number 5, this is number 10.
I think there are people in the community, I think maybe I'm one of them, that's wondering whether the city is raising this criteria where you have, sort of this attitude that, everything has to be museum quality and gourmet dining, which defeats the whole purpose of the farmers market.
Well, I don't think museum quality is in my definition of anything.
One final question. Do you think people ought to be able to see their final scores and then have some appellate procedure where they can come and argue their way?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not one of the decision makers. I don't know how the decisions are made. I just do the scores.
You were just out there doing your job. Well, Enid Idelson, thanks so much for joining us. Enid was a judge for craft vendors at the Charleston Farmers Market.
Thank you, Andy.
And tell us what you think about the way the city of Charleston decides who can and who can't participate in the Farmers Market at Marion Square. You can find us on Facebook or online at c2savagereport.com. And that's our show for now. From all of us at the Savage Report, I'm Andy Savage. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.